Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rocio and this is RisasRizos. And for those of you who don't know, today starts Hispanic Heritage Month, September 15th until October 15th. And if you've been living under a rock and don't know what Hispanic Heritage Month is, it's basically when the people of the US recognize the contributions of Hispanics and Latino Americans here in the United States while also celebrating our culture and our history. Mind you, we only get a month, but it's up to us Latinos to really celebrate our culture and our heritage for the whole year. There are tons of Latina tags already out there. I've already done one myself, and I woke up this morning and I even called Ada and I was like, we need to do something new. We really need to come up with a tag that really celebrates our culture and our heritage as Latinas or Latinos. So now we have a Hispanic Heritage Month tag. These are 10 questions that are gonna dig really deep down into your roots, in your past, in your childhood, in your future, everything that has to do with you being Hispanic. And some of these are gonna be a little fun too. Question number one is there an embarrassing memory that you had as a child that has to do with your heritage? One of the memories that was kind of embarrassing as a child was whenever my mom dressed us up as Aztec dancers for the traditional Concheros dance that was to honor the Virgen de Guadalupe. At the time, I didn't really understand why we were doing it and why my mom forced us to dress as these Aztec dancers or Aztec warriors. But after visiting Mexico and after knowing more about the history and after growing in faith, I feel like it was an honor for me to have been a part of that. The second question is there anything about your heritage that you wanted to know more about? I feel like I've been to Mexico several times before to where I know more about the Mexican history than Honduran history. While I am half Honduran, I feel like I don't know enough about that side of history. So that's definitely something that I would love to learn more about. This one is a fun one and I think that a lot of you can relate, but what is one tool that your mother or your parents used to discipline you as a child? Mine was always la faja and la chancla. Now I'm fine. Like now I respect my parents. Now I'm not crazy like some of these people are this day and age or like now. For me, there was no taking away the Nintendo. There was no taking away the laptop or taking away the cell phone or anything like that because what is that gonna do? I'm telling y'all, La Paja will get you right. The next question is, who is your favorite Hispanic hero? And mine is Frida Kahlo. She is a Mexican painter. She's a feminist icon. Her whole life story is remarkable and she's incredibly inspiring. Next question is there any Latin American country that you want to visit? And for me, I think I'd have to pick two for the moment. The first would be the Dominican Republic because my cousin is from there. I have a lot of friends from there and they all say how absolutely beautiful that country is. I think the second country for me would be Chile because I don't know anyone from Chile. I don't know anyone who can teach me about the history or the culture of Chile. So I think that just picking like a random country that I don't know anything about would be a learning experience. The next question is, what is one moment from your life where you felt the most proud of being Latino? For me, it was probably like the first memory I had of really being exposed to other people celebrating their Latino culture and their Latino heritage. And that was out here in the city of New Orleans for Mensaje Festival. Mensaje Festival is a festival we used to have where all Latinos from New Orleans would gather around and really just celebrate their culture and celebrate being Latino. I think that for me, it was the first time that I was exposed to seeing that there were people who were Latino that weren't Honduran and weren't Mexican, and that there were people who were really celebrating who they were, celebrating their heritage and celebrating what it means to be Latino. And I think that for me, that's really what fed my want and my desire to really embrace who I was as a Latina. The next question is, what is one recipe that you absolutely love that your abuela used to make or anyone from your family used to make? And mine is actually something that my abuela used to make, and it's arroz con fideos, and it's basically just rice with noodles. And she would make this for all the great celebrations like New Year's and Christmas and Thanksgiving, and it's absolutely delicious and I wish I knew how to make it. What Latino music artist brings back childhood memories for you? For me, it is Grupo Niche because my dad would literally play Grupo Niche all the time growing up. It was at the time a little annoying because he would start the song and then would want to learn the lyrics and he'd like stop the song after a couple of seconds and then start it over and then play it, and then after a few seconds he'd start it over and play it again, and so on and so forth. And it got to the point where I memorized the lyrics before he did, and so now Grupo Niche is one of my favorite bands of all time. It's a salsa band and I love salsa, and yeah, Anything Grupo Nietzsche just reminds me of my childhood. This next question is probably one of my favorites, but what is one piece of history about your heritage that has had a profound effect on you? And mine is of Los Niños Héroes during the Battle of Chapultepec. In a nutshell, the Battle of Chapultepec is like the tail end of the Mexican-American War, and the Chapultepec Castle was kind of like a military training camp, and so the cadets that were there were actually teenagers, like from the ages of 13 to 19. Eventually, the Mexican general, Nicolas Bravo, realized, hey, we're kind of outnumbered here, so he ordered the soldiers and the young cadets to retreat to safety. There were 6 insanely brave young men who would not back down and wanted to continue to defend their country. One of the first memories that I have of Mexico was having visited the Chapultepec Castle and seeing the mural, the big, beautiful, powerful mural on the ceiling of Juan Escutia, who is one of the 6 boy soldiers, or one of the 6 Niños Héroes, and he is wrapped in a Mexican flag and he is jumping from the Chapultepec Castle, leaping to his death, wrapped in this Mexican flag, protecting it from being captured by American soldiers. And seeing this at the age of what, like 7 or 8 years old, knowing that that boy was like within years from how old I was at the time, was just, it's a thought that will never leave my mind and will always be forever with me. And every time I go to Mexico, I feel like I have to visit that castle and just see it and hear the story, and just it's such a powerful scene in history to know that it's part of my heritage. The last question, but most certainly not least, is what is one thing about your heritage that you would like to pass down to your kids, to your future kids, or to the next generation? And I think that for me personally, it has to be that sense of pride, just that sense of pride of wanting to be Latina, wanting to be surrounded by other Latinos and wanting to embrace that culture and that heritage. I think that one of the first things that I would love to pass down to my future kids is the language. I've been practicing my own Spanish to be able to teach my future kids how to speak the language. But other than that, the food, the music, the history, the dance, the traditions, like everything that I've been taught about being Latina, I would love to pass that down to my future kids as well, because it's pretty awesome being Latina. Well, I hope that this video was not incredibly long, but I really hope that you guys learned a little bit about my heritage and my culture. And if you are Latina and you are watching this, please, I encourage you to share your answers either in a comment below, or if you make YouTube videos, then please do this tag. I want to learn about where you're from, and I want to learn more about your culture and your heritage, because all Latinos are different. We're not all the same. I mean, look at what I've been talking about. I've been speaking mainly about, Mexican heritage. I want to know more about Honduran heritage. So if you are Latina and you are Honduran too, tell me about your heritage. Tell me about your history and your background, because I want to know. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know in the comment below what your answers are. And like I said, if you are on YouTube, let me know what your YouTube channel is so I can go check out your video too, because I want to learn as much about your culture as possible. Do not forget, Hispanic Heritage Month is from today, September 15th, until October 15th. But we want to keep this going all year round. So don't keep it limited to just this month, please. I love y'all. Un besito. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.